I won first place in the competition, but my foster sister was unwilling to accept it. That very night, she took control of my dad's salary card. She gleefully showed off, "No matter how good your grades are, Olivia, your living expenses are now up to me." Is that so? The next day, I knelt on the award stage, sobbing as I spoke. "Eva from Class 7, Senior 3, I'm willing to call you Mom. Mom, I know Dad's salary card is in your hands. Please give me my living expenses, I'm so hungry." Then I pretended to turn my head away in humiliation. The entire school was in an uproar. That same day, news of her and my dad's disgrace spread like an explosion throughout the city. I was immediately placed under the school's protection. The moment I finished speaking, the air around us seemed to freeze, leaving a dead silence so profound that even breathing ceased. My gaze swept across the crowd and landed on Eva, who stood below the stage. Her usually healthy and radiant complexion had turned ghostly pale. I smirked in satisfaction and gently released my grip. Buzz, the microphone hit the ground, its screeching feedback piercing everyone's eardrums. It was as if everyone had been jolted awake, coming back to life. Whispers erupted from all directions, buzzing like clouds of noise, rising and coalescing into a thunderous uproar. What did Olivia mean by that? Eva? Eva from Class 7? What's their relationship? Calling her Mom? Is it what I think it is? Wait, Eva's not a rich second generation? What's going on with her and Olivia's dad? On the field, Eva wobbled unsteadily, on the verge of collapse. Sister, can't handle this already? But my revenge has only just begun. The next moment, I slowly closed my eyes and fell backward with all my weight. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw my homeroom teacher and a group of teachers rushing toward me. "Hurry, call 120. No, call 110. Call 110. Hello, police? I'm the principal of number 1 high school. I'm reporting a case, I suspect a student is in danger." Someone lifted my legs, someone else cradled the back of my head. My body was hurriedly moved to the school clinic, where the school nurse diagnosed me with malnutrition-induced low blood sugar. In 2025, in a key high school in a third-tier city, a student was still suffering from malnutrition. The principal, who had been shouting about calling 110, slammed the table in fury. A nearby teacher hung up the phone and walked in. "Principal, the police are already on their way. I've arranged for the classes to return to their classrooms. The police will be here soon. Chen's homeroom teacher has also contacted her parents, and they're on their way." Good. Had the school counselor stay here with her. Soon, I heard the sound of hurried footsteps and serious conversations. A familiar voice, my dad, Ethan. I heard him ask, "How is my daughter?" "She has a fever of 38 degrees Celsius and fainted due to malnutrition. She's already on N4, the school nurse replied. "Oh, is Eva okay?" His tone turned melancholic. "Eva from Class 7, Senior 3, is also my daughter. Her mother isn't around, so I'll need to trouble the teachers to look after her." It was in this moment that I slowly regained consciousness. My dad, Ethan, stood there with a slightly hunched back, graying temples, and a face full of ingratiating expressions. Beside him were the principal and teachers, barely containing their anger, and frowning police officers. When they saw I was awake, everyone looked relieved, especially my homeroom teacher, Ms. Hong. She came over, touched my forehead gently, and said softly, "Olivia, if you feel uncomfortable in any way, you must tell me. I'll stay by your side." Warmth surged in my heart, and I nodded firmly. Then I looked at Ethan and called out, "Dad," my voice tinged with tears. When he heard me, his expression froze for a moment before returning to its usual self. "Olivia, if you're not feeling well, you should have said something. Look at all the trouble you've caused. Alright, hurry back to class. Senior year is tough, and you want to get into a good school, don't you? Don't let your teachers and classmates down." "Dad," I called out again, this time with a pitiful tone. "Alright, enough with the acting. Dad's busy, I have to work hard to support you and your sister. Be good. Under the blanket, my hands clenched into fists. Good thing I didn't let myself soften. The principal interrupted my dad's rambling. Exchanging a glance with the police officer beside him, he said, Olivia's father, I'm the principal of number 1 high school. There are some things I need to discuss with you. Come to my office. My dad, utterly confused, was led away, followed by 2 police officers. He didn't realize that from the moment he stepped into this school, his life would never be the same. Before he arrived, the police had already contacted the forensic team. And Eva, accompanied by her homeroom teacher and the police, had gone to the forensic center for a physical examination. Why a physical examination? Because there was suspicion that a case of familial abuse might be unfolding, a despairing child crying in the dead of night, and this seemingly simple father might be a predator. I took in everyone's expressions, their gazes, their attitudes, watching coldly from the sidelines. My poor, biased father had no idea he was under suspicion, about to be destroyed. No, he was already destroyed. And the instigator? His own daughter. Chen, we need to take your statement, the officer said. I hesitated. I don't know what to say. The officer across from me offered a reassuring smile. Just tell us how your father treated you. How did my father treat me? That's a great question. My dad, Ethan, was a kind and honest man. Whenever others needed help, he'd lend a hand. When the old man on the 6th floor came home from surgery, his children asked my dad to help carry him upstairs. Ignoring his own back pain, my dad put down his bowl and went. Meanwhile, the man's children stood around like pillars while my dad carried the 100-pound old man up 6 flights of stairs. My mom chased after him, cursing, only to be met with sarcastic remarks from the man's children. Thanks, Brother Lin. Thanks, sister-in-law. The result? My dad's back hurt for 2 months, and between doctor visits and missed work, we lost nearly 10,000 yuan. You played the good guy, and now we're out 10,000. What a costly good deed, my mom said bitterly. She worked all day and came home to take care of the family, and her heart ached. She called him stubborn, asking why, out of the whole building, they only came to him. My dad, lying on the bed, said, forget it. They're neighbors. The neighbors all said he was honest, kind, and a good man. And my mom? They called her a shrew who didn't deserve such a good man. That shrew, always cursing and complaining. What's wrong with Ethan? She has no right to talk about him like that, the old man from the 6th floor said viciously, leaning on his cane. My mom's reputation worsened. The neighbors isolated her, and some even joked to her face, if this were ancient times, Ethan would have divorced you by now. I still remember her expression, bewilderment, anger, and despair. At night, she'd hold me and cry. She didn't even know what she'd done wrong. Our family was poor. My parents had no education and relied on manual labor. My mom worked as a nanny, earning 6,000 a month, doing her job diligently. Then one day, her employer started nitpicking, paid her, and let her go. Auntie, I'm doing this for my child's sake. I didn't know until others told me you have a reputation for being harsh in your neighborhood. You're a mother too, so you understand, right? My mom clutched the money and fled, hiding in a corner, crying silently. Being a nanny was her job, but to be humiliated like that by another adult, she had no way to fight back. She couldn't throw the money back and say, forget it, I don't want your dirty money, to salvage her dignity. Because her daughter was still young and needed money to survive. Because her injured husband was lying in bed, and they needed money to live. She wiped her tears and returned to the rundown building, where the neighbors whispered among themselves. Someone greeted her, Olivia's mom, you're home early today. She ignored them and walked home with her head held high. Behind her, the whispers grew louder. The family she worked for is connected to a relative of mine. Of course, I had to tell them the truth. If she got fired, it's not my fault. That night, my parents had a huge fight. The next day, my mom went looking for work, washing vegetables, washing dishes, but no one wanted her. In the end, she ended up working at a construction site, carrying loads. Weighing less than 90 pounds, she had to carry 100-pound loads. She said, "Olivia, don't end up like me. Just focus on your studies. I'll raise you well. I just hope you'll have a future where you don't have to do manual labor." I did problem after problem while my dad played games on his phone. And, Amelia, my back hurts again. Back then, I wished my mom would take me and leave this man, leave this place. Later, I wished she'd leave on her own, leave this home, this place, even leave me. But my mom was unlucky. She never got the chance to take me or leave on her own. She worked at the construction site for 5 years, her body becoming as thin as a piece of clothing, always hanging gray and dirty on the balcony, never quite clean, always despised. She got sick, stomach cancer. My dad swore he'd sell everything to save her. She shook her head, tears streaming. "Don't treat it. Save the money for Olivia's college tuition." She died in her early 30s. Her funeral was held at home. My dad knelt before her portrait, slapping himself repeatedly. "It's my fault. I'm useless. Amelia, you're gone, and now Xiaoxi has no mother. Amelia, how could you leave?" He wept bitterly. The neighbors came to console him. The old man from the 6th floor brought a bottle of liquor, urging him to drown his sorrows. "Ethan, real men don't cry easily. I know life's hard for you, and I know you're a loyal man. But the living matter more than the dead. You still have a child. You're the head of the family, you can't fall apart. Come on, drink this and start fresh tomorrow." My dad took the glass, his nose and tears mixing. "Uncle, dear uncle." The neighbors all said he was a loyal man. I knelt by my mom's coffin, burning paper money. A neighbor came over and tossed a stack of yellow paper into the fire. Then she said to me, "Olivia, don't be sad. The uncles and aunties here all care about you. You should tell your dad to find you a new mom soon. That way, your family will be whole again." I stared at her coldly. "Is that so? When you die, will your son find you a new husband too?" Her face soured, and she walked away. Outside, I heard her mutter, just like her mother, sharp-tongued. "TSK, TSK, tisk." 3 months later, Eva and her mother, Zhang Hong, appeared in our home. My dad, blushing, eagerly brought out offerings. The neighbors couldn't stop singing his praises. "Ethan's the best. We've known him for years, we can vouch for him." "Yeah, yeah." The old man from the 6th floor sat at the head of the table, declaring grandly, "When you get married, I'll give you a big red envelope." The atmosphere reached its peak. Suddenly, the old man's face darkened, and he scolded, "Ethan, I've told you before, you're too honest and bad at handling things. Go buy groceries and cook a meal to show this lady what you're made of." My dad hesitated for a moment, then quickly responded, "Yes, yes. Uncle's right. If you don't have enough money, just ask me." My dad quickly refused. "How could I trouble you? Honestly, I'm not much of a cook." "Then go to a restaurant. Don't embarrass yourself today. Your uncle's helping you out." With that, the neighbors chimed in, "Yeah, uncle's right." They pushed my dad and Zhang Hong closer together. My dad's face turned red. In the end, the neighbors enjoyed a lively meal, 3 tables, costing over 5,000 yuan. At checkout, a neighbor said, "Ethan, I know the owner here. They admire you and gave you a discount. They even threw in 2 bottles of Sprite for free." My dad quickly nodded. "Thanks, brother. Thanks." The neighbor burped. "No need to thank me. We're neighbors." I stared at the receipt, at dish after dish my mom had never tasted, had probably never even heard of. No, she knew Sprite. She'd bought it for me once and drank the flat leftovers. I lit the receipt, watching the flames crawl and the paper curl until it turned to ash. "Mom, I'll go to college. I won't end up like you. Mom, I miss you so much. That day, Zhang Hong and her daughter, Eva, moved into our home. This was a rundown building in A, with rumors of demolition circulating for years. Zhang Hong not only demanded an 88,000 yuan bride price before registering the marriage but also wanted her daughter Eva's household registration moved here. Ethan, Eva is my daughter, but she'll be yours too. If demolition happens, not only will we get an extra share, but you'll also gain another daughter to care for you. Others would beg for such a deal. My dad chuckled, delighted. He worked even harder to gather the bride price. He didn't know that my mom had left most of her savings for me, money she had earned brick by brick, load by load. He didn't know the bank deposit slips were hidden inside my mom's portrait, right by my bedside. He didn't know, and he never would, because he had already forgotten my mom and started a new life. I watched him scramble for work, desperate to raise the bride price. I pretended to ask innocently, Dad, why don't you carry bricks? He gave an awkward smile. Dad's back isn't good. I can't do that kind of work. Then he hurried away. In the end, he spent 5,000 yuan to bribe the son of the old man on the 6th floor, landing a job as a bank security guard. Monthly salary, 3,500 yuan, with insurance and meals provided. Ethan, this is a job everyone envies. Perks during holidays too. Your uncle here went to great lengths for you. My dad became even more ingratiating, treating the old man to lavish meals. But before my dad could even collect his first paycheck, Eva's mother, Zhang Wen, ran off, taking the family's money with her. Eva cried, saying, Ethan, don't blame my mom. My biological father came looking for her, he would have beaten her to death. Uncle, now I don't have a mother anymore. I have no mother. She wept pitifully, her tears flowing freely. My dad, as if seeing a woman cry for the first time, fumbled to comfort her. Don't cry, child. Don't cry. You have your uncle. Eva fell to her knees, sobbing. Uncle, from now on, you're my dad, my real dad. I only recognize you as my father. Dad. Yes. My dad responded loudly, his voice firm. My pen paused mid-stroke. I turned to touch my mom's portrait, then continued writing my exercises. Mom, I'll go to college. And just like that, Eva became my dad's foster daughter. Since her mother hadn't officially married my dad, she couldn't transfer her household registration to our home. But publicly, everyone referred to her as his foster daughter. After learning of this, the neighbors all praised my dad for his loyalty and kindness. Ethan, you're so lucky, gaining a daughter out of nowhere. She'll surely take good care of you in the future. My dad handed out cigarettes endlessly. Yes, her mother told me the same before she left. The poor child has lost her mother now. I hope all you neighbors will look out for her. Of course, of course. Eva also declared loudly, Auntie, I'll definitely take good care of my dad in the future. Good child. Truly a good child. From then on, my dad catered to Eva's every whim. She flaunted her phone in front of me. Hey, bookworm, look. The latest iPhone, cost 10,000. And this phone case? $399, your dad bought it for me. Oh, why did he only buy it for me and not for you? And this necklace, this watch, this bag, Eva exaggerated, pretending to be puzzled. Why does he only buy these for me and not for you? I looked at her outfit. A 10,000 yuan phone, a 20,000 yuan watch, a 30,000 yuan diamond necklace, a 40,000 yuan designer bag. Yes, why did my dad buy these only for her and not for me? I'm his biological daughter. Under the bright lights of the interrogation room, I stared directly at the police officer and asked, why? My voice trembled, a painful question born from the depths of my soul. The room fell into silence. Even the clatter of keyboards stopped mid-air. It wasn't until Officer Li Lu flipped a page in her notebook that everyone seemed to snap back to reality. Are you saying your foster sister, Eva, once asked you why Ethan only bought things for her and not for you? She looked at me intently, her expression professional, her hair pulled back into a sleek ponytail. Meeting her scrutinizing gaze, I swallowed hard and nodded heavily. Yes, and more than once. After waking up in the school clinic, I was immediately transferred to the local police station for questioning. I stared at the ceiling, wiping away the tears at the corners of my eyes. Then, forcing a bitter smile, I said, "Does she have any idea how cruel that kind of is to me?" I held up my hand to Officer Lee. 5, I said, gesturing with my fingers. My daily living expenses are only 5 yuan. Olivia, Dad's done the math. A girl like you doesn't need much for meals. 5 yuan a day for living expenses is plenty. See, you eat breakfast at home, it's healthy and nutritious. You can even cook for Dad and your sister while you're at it. Under the dim kitchen light, my dad's face wore a gentle smile. He spoke to me as if I were an adult, having an adult-to-adult conversation. I stared at the tips of my shoes, mustering the courage to ask, "But Dad, I have to go to school. I'll be late if I do that." "Then wake up earlier," he snapped, his voice suddenly sharp and piercing. I flinched, looking up at him in fear. His eyes were wide, the whites enormous, his pupils seemingly about to pop out. Then, just as suddenly, his expression softened, and the gentle smile returned. He said, "Olivia, Dad knows you're a good child. Now that your sister has joined our family, we have another mouth to feed. Dad's burden is heavier. Olivia, you'll help Dad, won't you?" "Officer Lee, do you know how much my sister's living expenses are?" I asked, snapping back to the present. "Uncle Ethan, I really want to eat at Pizza Hut," Eva had said, her long hair draped over her shoulders, her fair face pitiful, her eyes misty with tears. She bit her lower lip. "Before, my mom used to take me every week." My dad was instantly flustered, rushing to comfort her. "We'll go. Uncle will take you." "Really?" Eva's tears turned to laughter. "Thank you, Uncle. You're so good to me. You're such a kind person." I thought they might at least take me along, but Eva's eyes reddened as she said, "But Uncle, before, my mom only took me." And so, I watched them leave together and return laden with bags. Eva's face glowed with excitement. She said, "Uncle Ethan, you won't think I'm spending too much, will you?" My dad quickly waved his hand. "Silly child, what are you saying? You're too thoughtful. Spending my money means you see me as family. From now on, whatever you want, just tell me. Uncle will make sure you get it." "Uncle, no, Dad, you're the best." In the interrogation room, I said to Officer Lee, "There's no limit. My father, Ethan, has no limit on what he spends on his foster daughter, Eva." My lips trembled as I finally let the tears I had held back so many times fall uncontrollably. I stood up abruptly, slamming my fists heavily on the table. "I'm his biological daughter. I only get 5 yuan a day. I'm always hungry. I have no snacks, no new clothes. I have to buy groceries, cook, do laundry, and take care of them, all on 5 yuan a day. But her? She has everything. She's so sick of Pizza Hut she'd rather throw it away than share a bite with me. Why? Why does she deserve all of this?" The officers and the accompanying teacher rushed to calm me down. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Officer Li Huan, her face tense, summon a colleague. They whispered briefly, and then the colleague strode out quickly. "Chen," Officer Li said, closing her notebook, "what you've said will be investigated. You need to take responsibility for your words, understand?" She turned the computer screen toward me, displaying the entire transcript of our conversation. I sneered and pushed the screen away. "Do you think I hate her? Despise her? That I'm framing her, slandering her? Is that it?" I looked around the room. "You all think so too, don't you?" Clenching my fists, I shouted, "Yes, I hate her. I despise her. Why shouldn't I? She stole my dad. She stole everything that should have been mine. Officer Lee, teacher, my dad loves her, not me. I'm his biological daughter, and he doesn't love me. My emotions surged. To college, huh? These days, college doesn't mean much. The most you'll make is $4,000 a month. What's the point? She rambled on, and I listened quietly before asking, "You're actually envious of me, aren't you?" Her expression froze, then she burst into exaggerated laughter, as if I'd said something hilarious. I laughed along with her. Envious of you? Envious that you're poor? Envious that you don't have a mother? I tucked my mom's portrait into my bag before replying, "Of course you're envious. My mom left me money before she died, enough to get me through college and this house." What about your mom? My mom went to heaven. Eva's mom would push her into hell. After the trial, her mother didn't take her away from the city. Instead, she abandoned her there. Eva had no income, no place to go. Desperate, she returned to the rundown building. And so, in the shocked eyes of the public, she transformed from a pitiful victim into a willing slut. She explained over and over that she had been forced. But the glances directed at her grew increasingly sinister. She didn't realize that rumors like that aren't something you claim. Once you admit to them, they stop being rumors and become facts. The moment she pointed the finger at her foster father, she became part of the crime. When she passed by, whispers followed. When she lingered, people called her name and laughed. She didn't dare go out anymore. She locked herself inside her room. But at night, her door would be knocked on. Voices would call to her from outside the window. "Open up. Come out and play." Sometimes it was one person sneaking around, other times, it was groups. She had no income. She couldn't support herself. She had no mother to protect her. Her carefully constructed image of wealth had crumbled, and she didn't dare go to school, even though the school offered her a dorm room and a bed. A parasitic vine that only knows how to cling can't withstand a storm. But she wasn't born a vine, her mother never taught her how to stand tall like a great tree. How pitiful. Finally, one day, she opened the door. "You didn't know, did you?" I said, pulling up her slipping strap. "Your mother really did abandon you back then." In her shocked eyes, inch by inch, I saw my own smirking reflection. "It's just that one day, while the neighbors were chatting downstairs in the garden, I went to the small shop to buy soda and casually leaked some top-secret information." My mind drifted back to that day. "Uncle, give me 3 bottles of soda. Don't open them, I'm taking them to share with classmates." Someone nearby asked, "You have classmates?" "Yeah, my classmate's family is really important. I can't show up empty-handed." "Important? What do they do?" I pretended to think. "I'm not sure exactly, but they work in some bureau that handles demolitions and land purchases." "Then ask them, are we getting demolished here or not?" I acted shy. "How can I ask that? I'm just a kid." An auntie frowned. "This kid doesn't know how to handle things. What'll you do when you grow up?" I walked off angrily with my sodas and spent the afternoon at my mom's grave. A few days later, I dragged home an old, discarded sofa someone had thrown out. The commotion made everyone poke their heads out their doors and windows. "Olivia, why are you hauling such a big thing? When they tear this place down, you won't even be able to take it with you." I smiled sweetly and answered loudly, "Don't worry, Auntie. My classmate told me to relax, they're not demolishing here anymore. Real estate is over. The money now is in golden stocks, not houses." That same day, the rumor that the building wouldn't be demolished spread like wildfire. Even Zhangwen came to ask me, "Olivia, is what your classmate said true or false?" I'd never had any warmth for her or her daughter, so I snapped irritably, "Believe it or not. If you don't believe me, go ask the city government yourself." "The city government? How would a little nobody like me dare go in there?" she muttered, heading toward Eva's room. I was certain she'd heard me and was going to discuss it with her daughter. If I'd been polite, she would have been suspicious. Sure enough, not long after, Zhangwen was gone. "Your mother thought the demolition wasn't happening, so she ran off," leaving you behind to find another man, I told her, word by word. Did she tell you she was going out to make a quick fortune and would come back for you? Don't believe it. She lied. She doesn't want you anymore. Oh, and let me tell you, this place is getting demolished soon. You'll be on the streets. How pitiful. A burden nobody wants. Then I gently closed the door. As I walked downstairs, I heard an anguished scream from behind me. The next time I heard about them, I had already finished my master's degree, settled in another city with the demolition compensation, and built a successful, happy life. It was the police who contacted me again. Fate has a strange way of working. I found myself back in that same police station, and the officer assigned to me was the same Lilu from before. Your father was brutally murdered by his girlfriend, she said, pausing briefly before continuing, by Eva. It turned out that after my father was released from prison, he had no home, no income. He was too notorious, everyone knew him. Eventually, guided by well-meaning people, he found Eva working at a massage parlor on a construction site. A former convict and a lowlife, a match made in heaven. My father clung to Eva like a python, leeching off her, eating her food, spending her money. Poor Eva ran wherever she could, but there were always well-meaning people pointing my father in her direction. They were both too famous. Everyone knew them. Look, even out of prison, they're still together. There must have been something going on back then. A young thing like her, unbelievable. Some compassionate souls even pitied my father, saying Eva had seduced him. Everyone seemed to think they deserved to be tied together forever. Eva had no choice but to support him. I closed my eyes, imagining the scene. Just like my mother had worked as a nanny, swept streets, labored on construction sites, and scrimped and saved, only to come home to her husband, my father, Eva's foster father and boyfriend, lying in bed, complaining about his back, his legs, his head. She had to support him. But Eva was luckier than my mother. The man had already been stripped of his good guy mask, revealed as a thoroughly despicable creature everyone despised. In the police station lobby, I let out a long sigh and pretended to lament, so she'd been lying to me all along. Back then, she was the only one who had doubted my accusations, until Eva herself pointed the finger. Now, I stared intently at Officer Lee, so they really were in love. That means she was willing back then. Maybe it was because I caught on, no, maybe someone else caught on first. People were always coming and going in that building. That's why she deliberately got close to me, complained to me, wanted me on her side. I was so deceived, Officer Lee. I studied her expression, not missing a single detail. Good thing evil is punished. People as dirty and disgusting as them don't deserve to live in this beautiful world. Don't you agree, Officer Lee? I watched her retreating figure and smirked. When my mother was slandered, no one questioned it. When my mother worked herself to death, no one pitied her. Once, I had sat before this officer, drowning in despair, only to be met with skepticism. Her empathy was selective and subjective. She might have had the instincts of a wolf, but people are like ghosts, truth and lies blur together. Luckily, Eva had once again proven that everything I said was true. I would be happy for a very long time.